ANC South African delegation delivers a message of goodwill to President Kiir. Deployment of the unified forces begins. Over 100 teachers attend training at Rumbu Teachers Training Institute in Juba. Hello, good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in to Ssbc. I am Atiang Joseph. African National Congress Party delivered a message of goodwill to President Kiir on Wednesday. The ANC South African team, led by its Secretary General Fikile Mbalula, was accompanied by SPLM Secretary General Peter Lamboth. Peter Lamboth. Speaking to the media, Peter Lamboth says the meeting touches on the reconstitution of the political parties' council. The Secretary General of the African National Congress Party, Mbalula, noted that ANC is committed to supporting the unity government in implementing the peace agreement. The meeting also highlighted the significance of building the cooperation between the two political parties.
We briefed him on what we have been so far able to accomplish in terms of the implementation of the agreement, in terms of the necessary legislation that is required for the agreement to take place, the reconstitution of the National Elections Commission, the reconstitution of the Political Parties Council, and today the deployment of the unified forces. And so with these important milestones, the nation is now ready for elections, and political parties of various colors can now start registration. And so we ask of them to support the elections in South Sudan in the same way that we will also support the elections in South Africa next year.
We came here to bring warm greetings from the membership, the leadership of the African National Congress, led by President Cyril Ramaphosa and the entire leadership and membership of the ANC, in strengthening party-to-party and bilateral relations between our two sister parties. We remain in support of the comprehensive peace agreement and prosperity and peace and development for South Sudan. We are encouraged by the progress which the SPLM is making together with everyone in ensuring that the transitional periods finally come to an end and usher in a democratic dispensation, and to work together in our exchange programs and our memorandum of understanding and bilateral between the two parties.
The first Vice President, Dr. Riek Machar, and the visiting South Korean delegation reviewed the relation between Juba and Seoul. In other news, Dr. Machar and the U.S. ambassador discussed preparations for the 2024 general elections. Ssbc's John Tabanwani reports.
Vice President Dr. Riek Machar and the visiting South Korean delegation led by the President of South Korea International Cooperation Agency, Chung Woon-sam, access opportunities for upgrading existing bilateral relations between Juba and Seoul with focus on the economic sector. Speaking to Ssbc, the South Korean team leader says cooperation between the two countries will benefit generations to come.
We discussed how we can further upgrade our bilateral relationship, focusing on the economic area. And we look forward to closely cooperating with South Sudan for mutual benefit in the future.
In a separate news development, Dr. Riek Machar and the United States Ambassador to South Sudan, Michael J. Adler, review preparations for the elections in December 2024. Ambassador Adler acknowledged the first Vice President for supplying a list of SPLA-IO soldiers and officers for the second phase training for the unified forces. He appeals for more contribution from the transitional government of national unity to the humanitarian response fund.
I was glad to hear His Excellency the First Vice President's commitment to provide His Excellency the President with SPLM-IO's list for Phase 2 of necessary unified forces. We discussed the humanitarian situation in South Sudan, and I urged increased transitional government contribution of public revenue for humanitarian response and urgent transitional government action to reduce the costs and risks to providing assistance in this country.
The United States of America is South Sudan's peace and development partner. John Tabanwani, Ssbc, Juba.
Economic cluster chaired by Vice President Dr. James Wane Egan listened to a presentation by the Minister of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism, Rizk Zakaria Hassan, on the Eastern African Community Tourism Regional Expo 2023 held in Nairobi, and the meeting of the Council of the Tourism and Wildlife Management. The Minister of Investment, Dr. Dio Matogding, also briefed the cluster on the proposed South Sudan Second International Investment Conference that will be held in Juba in February 2024. The Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Lily Albino Cole, says the cluster directed the Ministry of Finance and Planning to release 443 million South Sudanese pounds for participation of the South Sudan in the Eastern Africa Community Tourism Regional Expo.
The meeting focused on a unified approach of the region in developing tourism and managing wildlife, and specifically focusing on trade, marketing, and investment opportunities. Participation of South Sudan in the upcoming East African Community Regional Tourism Expo that will be held soon in Kenya, Nairobi. Again, the Minister of Finance was directed to release the budget for the participation of South Sudan in the Expo, and the budget is estimated at 453 million South Sudanese pounds. And the participation of South Sudan is very important because they are also going successful participation of South Sudan in the Africa Celebrate that was held in Addis Ababa last October. South Sudan was able to showcase opportunities in the area of culture, tourism, cuisine.
South Sudanese primary 8 pupils are set to begin their examinations on Monday, 20th November 2023, amid the tightened anti-malpractices. On Wednesday in Juba, Vice President Hossein Abdalbagia Cole chaired a meeting involving the National Examination Council, Ministry of General Education, Unity and Upper State authorities on how the examinations could be conducted in Ulang, Nasser, Panjajar, respectively, following a report of insecurity in those areas. In a joint statement, the Acting Minister of General Education, Martin Takomoi, and Upper State Youth and Sports Minister, Hasfa Jack Nyawila, confirmed that the areas are now safe for the candidates to write their exams. According to the Ministry of General Education, this year's primary leaving examination would be more restricted and protected from any malpractices.
الاجتماع كان بخصوص امتحانات ناصر وولان وفنيجة تقريبا وصل لحل انه المراكز ممكن في امتحانات بمسؤولية الجبنة والمحافظ هم يقوموا مسؤولية تامة للامتحانات، وحصل اي حالة غش في المراكز دي هتلغى الامتحان اللي جات من المركز المعني. فانا تنبيهي انه الحاكم يشيل المسؤولية مع المحافظ والحكومة الموجودة في المقاطعة المعنية، لانه هم المشكله بتاعت السكيورتي، لو هم يقدروا انه يامنوا الامتحانات تكون موجوده في مركزين ولان وناصر وفنيجة، مسؤوليه الحاكم والمحافظ الموجود.
And the Ministry of Education will not compromise any malpractice. The centers are designated, and we will take the governors and the commissioners responsible for the security of the examination itself
the security of that center. Thank God that the governor is here. The governor has assured us, and the commissioner of the county has assured us that they will take the responsibility of conducting the examination safely, including the security of all the personnel who will accompany the examination paper there. This is the most a difficult situation, but with the help of governor of Unity States, and we wish the commissioner should cooperate with the governor. The examination issue is not a political issue. The examinations for all children of South Sudanese.
Moving on, 800 unified forces from Equatorial region have been deployed to Malakal, Upper Nile region. Presiding over the event, the chairperson of the National Transitional Committee, Tudgalwak, says the deployment comes as a directive from President Kiir, calling on the unified forces to defend the constitution, citizens and their property, as well as the country's territorial integrity. Ssbc's Gore Anthony reports.
As the clock is ticking towards the end of the transitional period to usher in general election coming 2024, the unity government is now doing all it takes to speed up the implementation of security protocols to ensure that all the graduated unified forces are deployed to various locations in the colorful event, graced with rhythm and lyrics of songs carrying slogans of peace, unity, coexistent patriotism, as the unified forces are finally being deployed.
Part to play in the future of this country, a future from which you can build the foundation for stability, for prosperity, and for a strong South.
The government graduated more than 53,000 necessary unified forces in various locations, including Juba, Wau, Malakal, Unity State, respectively, and they have been waiting the green light to be deployed to render services and the territorial integrity of the country. The chairperson of JDB and his deputy, General Santino Dengwal and General Doplam, call on the deployed forces to be committed in rendering services to the people of South Sudan and abstain from political lines, avoid tribalism, among others.
Then I will sit down with them. And they didn't have the budget as well. You will Sudan, what type of salam? Salam, Jesh, police, tired of the jacket. They show what with a wall in the Damian, police.
Kayutum, it's about Manila. Mapu Watniku, the Kali Sokojet, we don't see Galanji Kalam Kalam, CSC, the outer massive dollar, we from Jaffa.
The Minister for Peace Building, Stephen Parkwal, described the day as symbolic in the implementation of security arrangement protocol, and it would pave way for commencement of Phase 2. Minister Parkwal to the international and regional community to support the implementation of peace accord, especially the security arrangements.
This deployment is very important to be broadcast and televised and popularized throughout our country, and that send a message to our people that the Artigono is working for the welfare of our people to restore peace in the country.
The Minister of Information, Communication Technology and Postal Services, Michael Makwelweth, urged the unified forces to uphold their mandate to building and providing the security and stability and pay allegiance to the country and its people, but not a specific individual or political party.
Into Bigitu, Jesh Barao. Jesh Barao, Wintu Namankuntu. Indokum, Qiyadat Mukhtalifa. Kanin da kum CNC bita kum bita SSPDF CNC bita IO CNC bita sawa. Alela delegi dam inda kum only one CNC. Mina lela legi dam inda kum wahid CNC wa inda kum wahid commander bita CDF. Kai bita kum wahid.
In 2024.
أنا بقول إنه أنا في خدمة SSPDF من اللوجستيك بتاعكم، أكل بتاعكم، كاكي بتاعكم، مرتبات بتاعكم، وأنا ما كنت داير أتكلم لأنه قبل أنا قلت للشيرمان ما هي بتاع الناس ده لازم يبدأ من شهر 8 من شهر 8 وأنا ماشيين قدام.
The future of this country is on your hand because you are not army belonging to specific political group, tribe or individual, but the country, said Minister of Interior Angelina Teng while speaking to the unified forces.
مبروك عليكم. انتم بقيت قدوة ومثل أعلى للجيش بتاع جنوب السودان الجديد. انتم brand new. انتم جيش بتاع فيكتوري. اللي بيجيب السلام واستدامة السلام في البلد ده.
Presiding over the event, the chairperson of the National Transitional Committee, Tutgalwak, says the deployment comes as a directive from President Kiir calling on the unified forces to defend the constitution, citizens and the property as well as territorial integrity of the country.
ويتم دخول فيستو ماذا فرصة منتنا وده يتم بتوجيه من سير الرئيس والمؤسس الرئاسة ونواب الرئيس. اليوم نحن الآن في الكتيبة الأولى توجه على ملكان وفي كتيبة ثانية موجود الآن شماشي ونفس الدرجات والأربعة ماشيين مرغداء لجبنا مرغداء لجوبا والمبروع ماشيين مرغداء لجبنا
The leadership of National Transitional Committee, ministers, grantors of the peace agreement, witnessed the first phase of deployment of more than 800.
From that story, we are going for a break. Stay tuned for more information.
Greater Upper Nile Region States and Administrative Areas High-Level Committee for endorsement of SPLM Chairman under the leadership of Comrade Dr. Joseph Manchuil Wijang organizes the endorsement rally of Comrade General Salva Kiir Mayardit as SPLM flag bearer and presidential candidate in forthcoming general election 2024 in Malakal town on the first week of December 2023 under the theme Reigniting SPLM in Greater Upper Nile Region to endorse President Salva Kiir Mayardit for general election 2024.
It is my humble request to the great people of Upper Nile region to reconcile and come together as the people of one region and as the people of the great South Sudan. Let us forge a new page of love, page of reconciliation, and page of belonging to that great region of Upper Nile. And I therefore call upon all of you, the people of Upper Nile region, to turn out in Malakal town for the reception and welcoming of our chairman of the SPLM and the President of the Republic, Comrade General Salva Kiir Mayardit, the champion of our independence and peacemaker in our country.
All communities of Greater Upper Nile region are invited to welcome the champion of peace and symbol of unity to Malakal town, His Excellency General President Salva Kiir Mayardit.
Welcome back and thank you for tuning in. Over strengthening bilateral relations between the two countries, Ambassador Chang delivered an invitation to President Kiir to attend the upcoming South Korea Africa Summit in South Korea, aiming at promoting dialogue and cooperation between South Korea and African nations in various fields. Dr. Barnaba stresses the importance of economic cooperation between the two countries.
A message and a letter to His Excellency President Salva Kiir Mayardit. We have exchanged views in how South Sudan and South Korea can cooperate in so many fields to strengthen the relationship which the two countries have had for a very long time. I extended to him the greetings of our President to pass to President Yoon of South Korea, his appreciation for the presence of South Korean peacekeeping forces that have been in South Sudan, in Jonglei area, and who have done tremendous work in assisting the people of South Sudan. We also shared the importance of expanding our diplomatic relations, supporting each other diplomatically and politically in all areas of diplomacy, and also helping us, inviting them in areas of capacity building program, in areas of agriculture, areas of technology.
We discussed how we can further upgrade, further develop our bilateral relationship, focusing on the economic area. And we look forward to closely cooperating with South Sudan government for mutual benefit in all areas of mutual interest in the coming years and coming decades.
Government with support from the China launches training program for 110 teachers at Rumbu Teachers Training Institute in Juba. Addressing the launch, the Deputy Minister of General Education and Instructions, Martin Takomoy, says they are planning to establishing teachers training institutes to improving the country's education sector. Chinese Ambassador Mie Qiang says the second batch of the training program is targeting 600 teachers, and that the other batch will be trained in Shanghai in China. The ministry's Under Secretary Kuyok Abul Kuyok says the program is aiming at enhancing education in the country. The principal of Rumbu Teachers Training Institute, Dilinga Emmanuel, described the institute as one of the important pillars in developing societies of the country.
We are going to have one teacher's training in every state in the administrative area. That's going to be our responsibility to train the teachers there. But now we are in a peace. The government is determined to improve the life of its citizens, whether you are a teacher, soldier, worker.
Today, we witness the opening of the teacher training program under Phase 2 technical cooperation. And the celebration shall be followed by direct benefits to over 600 teachers and school managers with the facilitation of training programs in Juba and in Shanghai. The training component for teachers and school managers is very important for the China-South Sudan technical cooperation in education, and is also a major content in the capacity building project under the Sino-Africa Cooperation Framework.
When we talk of quality education, there must be qualified teachers, as it was rightly mentioned. It is a qualified teacher, a trained teacher that will inspire students, learners to pursue education. We are grateful, Your Excellency, to the people and the government of the People's Republic of China for this opportunity. Will really improve, will have positive impact on transforming education in South Sudan.
We are very grateful that we have all these teachers from our states. And by the end of this training, they will be able to take these skills to the various states they come from. So our teachers, we cherish them, we value them, because they are the transformers of our society by giving good knowledge to our children, and when the children grow up, they are the people South Sudan best.
23 journalists have graduated from the Media Development Institute in Juba on Wednesday. The journalists underwent one-year training on norms and ethics of journalism. Speaking to Ssbc, the Deputy Minister of Information, Communication, Technology and Postal Services, Dr. Jacob Majokorok, urges the media practitioners to exercise professionalism in their work. Dr. Jacob assured the ministry's commitment to supporting the institute in promoting the development of the country's media industry. The director of the Association of Media Development in South Sudan, Aya Arin, says the institute provides training opportunities to journalists in the country.
You go and practice what we have been taught, and we have ethics in the media. Don't overstep. Don't step on the right responsibilities. Don't misuse it. So be responsible. Don't say that actually we have freedom of expressions, and then you step on the toe of the others and vilify the others. I want communication, technology and postal service will support this institute.
Outside of Juba, we have an outreach training for journalists who are not able to come and attend training at MDI. So we have been going to different states of South Sudan to conduct outreach training for those journalists who are operating in the states. Has been really cooperating. Every year we get this letter and we get training done in the state. And to Media Authority, I want to thank them because...
And sports, Michael Mabel says the institute would enable youth to engaging in developmental activities in the country. The director of youth and sports in the office of the...
The consultation meeting is on the preparation for the draft of the National Youth Service for the Republic of South Sudan. This is the second group. We've already followed. We are going to Great Equatoria, and it will be hosted by Torid, the capital of Eastern Equatoria. This is in line with what is enshrined in the current agreement of the government. Youth should undergo or have established a national youth service, so that's why we're consulting with all the young people in all these states, the 10 states and the administrative areas, so that we hear their views, the way they want it to look like. So
it has been a good day, and we have deliberated enough to define the role of young people in participating in nation building. We saw it fit for us to take part in it, and we have put much effort on that, and we think that youth in our nation will have to take part, patriot young men, to develop their country in whatever aspect their service is needed.
We are so delighted to introduce this important National Youth Service to our nation for the first time in history. It is the initiative of Our Excellency, Mama Rebecca Nyandeng Demobur, to see how our young people are molded to become who they are. That's her dream. A National Youth Service is something that will transform many of our young people to be better people for this nation. With all the state ministers who have been here, we also want to thank you for your patience. We really want to thank you, and please, when you go back, pass the message to our young people back home.
From that story, we are going for another break. When we come back, we shall look at tree planting project in Awil. Stay tuned for more information. Moving to Awilware, Northern Bargazali State government has launched a project to plant 5 million trees to mitigate climate change. Governor Tonga Ken Ngor called on the people to plant trees in their houses and along the streets to protect the environment. The State Agriculture and Forestry Minister Anai Deng says the move is to preserve the environment and combat deforestation in the region. The Commissioner of Wilk Center County, Peter Natale, affirmed their commitment to implementing the initiative in their respective counties.
احنا عايزين كله مقاطعة يزرع مليون شجرة وبعدها ال5 مليون برضه اللي قلناه عشان يتم في الرئاسة بتاعت الولاية هنا في منسيباليتي برضه عايزين برنامج ده يستمر. الوحدات النظامية يزرعوا كل المصالح الحكومية والوزارات يزرعوا. دي بينقذنا من مشاكل كثير لأنه الأمطار بقت تجيف بدري. مسألة بتاع قطع الأشجار القطع الجاير ما كويس. قانون بيقول تقطع شجرة تزرع 5 أشجار وده برنامج المفروض احنا نطبقها.
This campaign awareness is aimed to plant 5 million trees across the state. This is our aim today, is in awareness of tree plantation. This project will be led at the county by the county commissioners to provide shielding protection.
نحن نتمنى لكل زول يسلم شجر هنا يمشي يزرع ويعمل له واقع ويحميه من الأغنام والأبقار ويتم اهتمام به يعني يرشه في كل بعد يومين ياخذ كمية معقولة من المويه. نحن الكمية الحصة انتم شايفينه ده نحن لو زرعناه كله البلد ده هيخضر والبلد ده هيكون فيها كثافة كبير جدا من الأمطار.
As government working to resolving the dispute, the Commissioner of Ju River County, James, appreciated law enforcement agencies for protecting the communities.
مواطنين في جوبا وفي غيره مواطنين بيجاي وماشي لقدام عشان كده التأمين بتاع الشارع ده هو مهم. أي مسؤول داير إنه الشارع ده يكون فيه تأمين كويس. عشان كده يوم ده القوات جاكم هنا جاري انفورسمنت هنا عشان يساعد في المنطقة هنا.
30 وشباب وناس كبار كله وانين فاكم من ليبيا وناي الكلام ده بيهلو كيف.
فنحن كشاب بتاع مريانوا نحن اصلا ما عندنا اي مشكله بيننا. المشكله مشكله بتاعت حدوديه لكن ما في مواطن بيكون عنده حدود مع فلان ومع فلان طبعا الحكومه يا هو بتدخل.
The Upper Nile State Advisor for Security Affairs Al-Taib Okech Ajak shared a joint meeting between the authorities in Rang County and the Sudanese Al-Jabalain locality. The meeting discussed agriculture and livestock projects for the benefits of the two communities. Ssbc's Mario Solman reports.
In a statement to the media shortly after the joint meeting of the authorities of Rang County and Sudanese Al-Jabalain locality, Upper Nile State Advisor for Security Affairs, Al-Taib Okech Ajak, says the two parties have agreed to form a technical committee to review the double agricultural projects. He points out that the meeting discussed livestock affairs represented in collecting livestock revenues.
ومقاطعة الرنج هي مقاطعات حدودية بين دولة السودان وجنوب السودان. دائما في الموسم الشتاء أو موسم بتاع الزراعة يحصل عملية بتاع الحصاد أو العودة بتاعت الرواة يكون في إشكاليات في الحدود. فده خلى المحليتين هم يدعوا حكومة بتاعت الولاية أن يكونوا حضور في الاجتماع ده ويمكن اللجنتين بتاعت محلية جبلين ومقاطعة الرنج نحن وصلنا لتفاهم بأنه يتم مراجعة الأرقام المشاريع المزدوجة بين المحليتين. كوننا لجنة ولجنة إن شاء الله هيقعد ويراجع المشاريع بأرقامها الموجود بين الوزارتين. أيضا نحن برضو يعني المقاطعتين هم وصلوا لاتفاق لتكوين اللجنة في عملية التحصيل.
Rang County Commissioner Kagvadit Kag emphasized the strengthening of relations between the county and Al-Jabalain locality.
ونحن لأن نربط شعبين ما يكون في أي انفلات بيننا وبين المواطنين بتاع المقاطعة الرنج
محلية الجبلين. والحمد لله جانا المعتمد محلية الجبلين وتواغانا وكلمنا بطريقة كويس قدام المستشار الطيب جاوكي، وجاونا هناك عبد السيسي هو وزير الحكم المحلي في النيل الأبيض، واتفقنا بحاجات مناقشنا والحمد لله بتحدى الإدارة الأهلية كله.
The representative of the White Nile State Government, Mustafa Hamza Ad-Dasis, says that the joint meeting secured the formation of a technical committee consisting of 12 people to resolve the issues of dual projects between the two areas.
المشاكل التي نرى أنها هي يعني لا تستحق، يعني هي مشاكل عارضة، وحصلت تفاهمات كبيرة جدا جدا بين الجانبين، وتتمثل في المشاكل في تداخلات المشاريع الزراعية بين محلية الجبلين ومقاطعة الرن. وفي هذا الصدد ضمن الاجتماع بتكوين لجنة فنية من الطرفين. أيضا تم نقاش أيضا في العملية بتاعة تحصيل القضعان أيضا، والتقاطعات التي تحصل في تحصيل القضعان، وأيضا تمت تفاهمات يعني جيدة بين محلية الجبلين ومحافظة الرنك، بالإضافة لممثلي الإدارة الأهلية والرعاة. وإن شاء الله أن لا تكون أبدا إن شاء الله في المستقبل أي إشكالات في هذا الجانب بإذن الله.
The Commissioner of Al-Jabalin locality, Hussein Muhammad Al-Rajal, indicates that his administration is collaborating with the authorities of Rank County to reduce security concerns in the border areas.
الجوار آمن بيننا وبين الإخوة في مقاطعة الرنك. تحدث بعض التخلفات من حين لآخر، لكن نحن في إخوة مقاطعة الرنك من قبيلة الجبلين على أعلى تنسيق لحل كافة القضايا ذات الاهتمام المشترك، ونحن نطلع لحدود مرنة بيننا وبين الإخوة في مقاطعة الرنك، حفاظا على علاقات الجوار وتبادل المنافع الاقتصادية والاجتماعية.
The joint meeting of representatives from Rank County and the Sudanese locality of Al-Jabalin aims to develop a common vision for addressing issues that consolidate internal relations. For Ssbc News, Mario Suleiman.
Crossing to Rumbek, where over 1,000 secondary and primary teachers in Lakes State passed general screening exercise. The State Education Minister confirmed the readiness in Lakes State. Ssbc's Mario Suleiman reports.
More than 1,000 successful primary and secondary school teachers in the recent screening exercise in Lakes State to teachers. The National Ministry of General Education and Instruction will award the teachers' license and accredit them to teach in schools across the state. Nelson.
Discuss issues to do with access to education, on how we can increase our capacity to enroll the students across the country and particularly in Lagos State. The teachers who search for quality education.
In a separate news development, representatives from various Christian religious denominations in Rumbek welcomed 34 general moderators and 5 administrators.
Of Southwestern Upper Nile Presbytery, whose headquarters was in Lair Town. Today, you become a full in which you will be part of the Presbyterian fraternity in the Republic of South Sudan. May God bless you.
Rumbek, the Right Reverend Christian Karl Lazare rejoiced solidarity with the Presbyterian Church opening its headquarters in Rumbek.
Yes, as a Catholic Church, I'm happy that the community of the Presbyterian Church received today this visit, where we are believers in Jesus Christ, and we look at the gospel as a teaching that will bring us together, no matter where we come from, but our faith will build our nationhood and so also called to serve the country altogether.
The Secretary General of the South Sudan Women's Union, Angelina Adio Simon, explained her dual mission to Lake State at this particular time.
جاي نشوف منطقة بتاع رومبيك وانا برضه جاي نشوف نسواوين وختمات بتاعون وحمايل بتاعون وخطوات بتاعون عشان احنا نمسك يدينا نسوا مع بعض ونشوف نحن هنمشي قدام كيف نشوف المستقبل بتاعنا بتاع مركة في جنوب السودان.
Reverend Paul Cheknyak, the acting pastor in charge of the Presbyterian Church in Rumbek, applauds General Assembly and Executive Committee for approving the establishment of the headquarters of the Presbyterian Church for Greater Barakazal in Rumbek.
We are glad to receive our General Moderator of 34 of Presbyterian Church of South Sudan. He's supposed to come here to declare the presbytery of Greater Barakazal.
For Ssbc News,
from me and the team, I am Mathiang Joseph, and thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for more programs coming up.